Hello everybody, you have tuned in to Eric Jose on Making a Murderer on YouTube. I cover virtually any aspect of making a murderer. I go over the evidence, the documents, the photos. So if you like, stay tuned, and in the future I'll have many more videos besides the one you're about to see. Hey, how you doing, folks? We're doing here today to do another video talking a little bit more about this CD, the DVDs, when and how it was handed over, and kind of maybe some of my issues with it. What I'm actually wanting to do here today is, if there are some lawyers out there that actually do watch my channel, I would like the opinion of people who understand how this goes in Wisconsin mainly. But I know that other states have similar statutes to the Denny motion, so maybe some lawyers from other states could be helpful in this. But my thing is to my mind, the prosecution had this evidence for 8 months. They had this, and it was all just handed to them, straightforward in the open. Boom, here it is. The CD's on top. You got these DVDs, you got these investigative reports, whatever. Here they are. No, cloak and dagger, hiding it in a stack of other reports and doing all that. It was just straight over, boom, given to them. They had 8 months to examine and go through and know exactly what they were dealing with there. And this whole time, Dean and Jerry are Stephen's lawyers, but they wait until right before the holiday season. Literally, right when Christmas, right in the middle of December, when it's Christmas and New Year's and all the holiday season going on and how hectic everything is. And then knowing that Denny was going to be coming up due very soon. It just shows that they were not playing fair here. They were really running a rigged game. And they knew that for whatever reason that they were going to be able to get away with it. So to my mind, there's just kind of a problem there. But here's my question for the lawyers out there, seriously, because lots of people, or some lawyers I'm hearing saying are saying, oh, well, if it was handed over on the 14th, the DVDs were handed over on the 14th, well, then that was enough time, and that meets the statutes of discovery or whatever, right? Okay, I'm curious to hear more lawyers' opinions about this, because how much time is enough time to go through that much information on a computer, and then not only to go through it, but then to find the exculpatory evidence that happens to be on it? You don't know going in if there even is anything there, right? But you have the prosecution that's had it for 8 months says, oh yeah, there's nothing of evidentiary value there. So this is thrown in your lap during the Christmas season, right in the run up to trial, the final run up to trial in the final 2 months, the final 7 weeks. There's nothing honest. There's nothing about it that rings honest to me. So here's my question. If the prosecution had handed this information all over to Dean and Jerry on, say, December 31st, lawyers, if it was December 31st, would that have been acceptable? Would that have met the needs of discovery? Would that have been enough time for Dean and Jerry to get at, to kind of come to grips with what was there and what they might be able to do with it? So that's my question for the lawyers out there. What if it was December 31st that this stuff was handed over? I'd like to hear the opinions on that. Because that's my big question is how much time is enough time to go through all of that information, especially when you're not being given it in a straightforward manner as it was given to the state. So yeah. So I'll leave it at that, and hopefully some lawyers will check in here and maybe give us some answers in the comments section on that. I would love it. Anyways, so to me, it seems like just an awful lot of information that they would need to go through, and like I say, before even going through it, they don't know if there's even anything there. So they don't know. They can't just directly search for something because they don't know anything's there. So they can't just go and directly search for anything. I mean, they would literally have to just pluck along through the file folders and stuff until they stumble upon something, and then have to go and check that out. Where did it come from? How was it Google Images, this or that, or whatever it was, or AOL? You know, how did this come on to be on this computer? And you got to do all that backtracking and stuff like that. So to me, it's a very tall order in a very, what seems to me, short amount of time. So I'm wondering if the whole argument here on this thing is going to be about whether or not it was really truly enough time to give, if it was enough time given to Dean and Jerry for them to really be able to find and know what was on these DVDs or wherever, that were they given enough time? I think that's going to be, now, like I said, I've already seen a couple lawyers that weigh in and say yes, they say that it seems like enough time to them. I think when you're going over this much information, that seems like not really a lot of time. Especially during the holiday season of Christmas and New Year's. It doesn't seem like enough time. And that's my feeling about that. And then beyond that, it just seems sinister. The way that the state did this. The way they turned this stuff over. The whole thing just seems sinister because like they were trying to fly it just under the radar, but so that it looked legit and honest. That they were actually trying to share the information. You know, that's what it looks like. Because to me, it's a huge red flag that the state had this for 8 months before they decided to hand it over. Right before the holiday season, right before New Year's, right before Denny was due. Right, I mean, just jamming it up the way that they did so that hopefully Dean and Jerry wouldn't be able to get in and dig in there and find out what was there and be able to use it. But come out smelling like a rose because they can say that they made it available. Yeah. So was it enough time? Yeah. It seems like a very, very sinister ploy by the state to just fly this stuff just under the radar, but so it's there so that they can have this seemingness of honesty in the discovery. So anyway, so as we know, this is Sunday, August 5th. So as we know, on Friday, there was something filed with the courts where Kathleen Zellner may be subpoenaing Barb and possibly some kind of some objects of some sort. I don't know what that's all about yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see documents tomorrow about it. At which point, when I get home from work, I'll read and capture some of it for you so you guys can see maybe some of the important bits there. But I'll go over that definitely tomorrow. I don't want to speculate about what it is or anything right now because I just literally don't know. So that's about it for that. And then one last thing I want to talk about here. For some of you who follow me for MAM, I would like to talk to you a little bit about in a video I'm going to be doing here, but for another case. It's the Scott Davis case. It's very, very interesting because I've been doing some of these videos about the Scott Davis case now for about a year, maybe a little over a year now. And there's some serious issues with the Scott Davis case. To just name a few, 72 pieces of evidence that mysteriously went missing, most of it in the year before trial, because they waited about 8 years to prosecute on this. Yeah. So 72 pieces, but like I said, most of that 72 pieces goes missing literally in the year leading up to trial. You've got you have the basically Scott Davis, who is the one they believe killed the victim, David Coffin, in this. Well, the reason why they believe Scott killed David Coffin is because Scott's wife, or well, soon to be ex-wife at the time, was dating David Coffin. She was cheating on Scott with David, and a billionaire from New York and a high-powered surgeon from New York as well. But anyways, David Coffin. So Scott ended up getting embroiled in all this. Here's the thing, though, folks, about Megan. She is the one that was able to say that David Coffin had been shot. And she said this while the house was still burning. because he had been shot. He was on his kitchen floor and somebody had burned the house. So while the house was still burning, she's on the phone telling people that David had been shot. Okay? She told this to Scott. Now, eventually when the police get there and, Deputy Dum Dum, in this case it's Chambers, Detective Chambers, who comes in and goes, "Oh, well, it must be the jealous ex-husband." And even though somebody tells him that Megan was talking about David being shot in the head while the house was still burning, he still goes after Scott. Yeah. So, what we're going to be talking about in this Scott Davis video is I'm going to be going through all the things that Megan has done all throughout the litigation of this thing, the many ways that she was dishonest and manipulated the situation. For instance, while she was testifying at trial, going on a local popular crime blog on the internet in Atlanta, Georgia, to talk about the case when she was expressly forbidden to do that, but everybody looked the other way. So, but in the more recent days, she managed. It looks like she managed to, talk to or whatever, because there was a show called Reasonable Doubt on Discovery that was actually going to cover the Scott Davis case because they were looking into it and stuff. And apparently Megan got somehow a hold of somebody there, and it looks like the show may not happen now. I don't know why that is, because this case is extremely messed up. And here's the kicker, folks. Here's the kicker. Recently, Miss Megan, who lives in Australia, recently got one of my videos about her blocked in Australia, and I believe she is trying to get my other Scott Davis videos blocked too, because YouTube has put them under review and stuff like that. So some of them. So I know that there is a concerted effort from Australia. She's trying to shut me up, or she's trying to get YouTube to shut me up. And so I find that interesting. So I'm going to be doing a video about this real soon, kind of going over this stuff, and y'all will get to kind of see what I'm talking about, and I'll show you how, I'll show you the crime blogs and the usernames that she was using, connected with the IP addresses that she was using, that prove that she was on this crime blog when she shouldn't have been. I'll show you, everything I can. I'll show you how she was, basically the attempts to block my videos in Australia where she lives, and I'll show you guys, some of that stuff. So anyway, that's what's kind of be coming in the future. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you.